And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I have a very exciting one for you. I'm going to talk about my first year at Berklee College of Music. I'm going to talk about some of my experiences I had and things I learned throughout being there for 1 year. And I got to tell you, I couldn't be happier with how the first year went. So when I first pulled up to Berklee last August, which is insane to me, I felt like, I don't know if I'm going to fit in. Like, I'm so intimidated. But the outcome was just the opposite. Throughout my first year, I felt like I belonged there and like I had a purpose and like I was getting involved in all these different things, which I'm going to talk about right now. So the very first thing that I learned very early on, like the first or second week, was to take opportunities and to say yes. There are opportunities being flown at your face at Berklee, and there is just so many things you can get involved in, and like you should do them, because I found things that I never thought I would have been involved in. Here's a great example. So I met one of my good friends early on, like first or second week of Berklee. Shout out to Makai, great piano player. You should check him out. And we were talking about like, how do we get involved with like pit orchestras and like musicals and playing and stuff. He was like, I think I saw like a poster where it's like submit like a video. And so I was like, great. And so I got the email of the poster lady, and then I submitted a few songs, and then she was like, yeah, that was for like last year. And she was like, I think I have like someone who's like starting this new like Broadway band or something. Like, I'm gonna like have them like reach out to you and like if they need you. And then I get like an email from this dude, Jeremy, shout out to Jeremy. And he's like, hey, like we need a guitarist. I'm starting this like new Broadway band like group at Berklee. It's gonna be really sweet. We're gonna play like different songs and stuff. And I was like, yes, let's do it. It was so much fun. We did songs from like Dear Evan Hansen and like Dogfight, two of my favorites. And through that group, I was offered another gig, which was at Boston University in the Psy Performance Center. They were doing a production of 9 to 5, the musical, and they needed a guitarist. So the guitarist dropped, and the drummer was like, hey, we need you. And I was like, sweet, let's do it. And so I got involved in that. When I was at that, another person in the pit was like, hey, like maybe like we need a guitarist for this other high school thing. Like we need to hire. So what I'm trying to say is like saying yes to opportunities and being open-minded to different things is one of the most important takeaways if you take anything away from this. Another thing I learned very on at Berklee is that the workload is a lot. It's a lot of work, but it's manageable. Like it's physically possible to like maintain like good grades at Berklee. It's a lot of work, but like you have to put the time into it. Like you have to put pleasure second. You got to do a lot of work. You got to get what you need to get done. That's the most important thing. What that did for me was it developed this work ethic in me where like if I wasn't doing work, I felt like, why am I not like doing homework or like, because I already got it done. So like it developed a really, really great work ethic for me, and that's one of the best things that so far Berklee has given me. And while we were on the topic of opportunities and like saying yes and being open-minded, this next point has a lot to do with that. So first semester, I was placed into arranging class with Lee Abe. Shout out to Lee. And the class was not a class about music notation. It was about writing for rhythm section, but we had to use Finale, the notation software, to write and orchestrate these different songs. And I never would have in a million years thought I would be arranging songs for the Broadway band I was in. Link to that somewhere. And some of the songs we were playing, I orchestrated them and we rehearsed, and it was so cool. I never thought I would be orchestrating songs and be performed. It's crazy. That is just another thing that I was able to take away, and I just love to do. This next point has more to do with like living on your own and being in Boston. So one of the highlights of my first year living in Boston outside of Berklee was finding my new church home, Hilltop Church. Shout out to Hilltop Church. This is full of shout outs. So shout out to everything. Shout out to Berklee. Hilltop is awesome. I've never been a part of a still pretty young, developing mobile church. Every single Sunday, we would set up all the sound equipment and speakers and set everything up and get all the in-ears going. It's crazy. I've never been a part of it, but I love it. And just the Hilltop family has just been so good to me. Shout out to Will, shout out to D&B, and that goes along with J-Hop sets that I'm live streaming every Friday. I would do them at the J-Hop location in Boston. But because of coronavirus, I obviously have to do them at home now. And I'll link the J-Hop Facebook page in the description so you can check those out. Speaking of coronavirus, as a lot of you students who watch me know, we were sent home, and doing school from home is like, I don't know how homeschooling kids do it. I've never been homeschooled. Doing school at home, it's so distracting, and it's so hard to like get what you need to get done because there's so many distractions, and it was just so hard, but we were able to get through it. Shout out to students out there. And this last point about Berklee is about the environment, the really, really awesome, encouraging environment. Everyone is just really friendly. And like when I was going into Berklee, I was like, oh, I hope it isn't like there's like popularity and like cliques and stuff. There is none of that. And it's so cool. It's just like you talk to anyone, and it's so friendly. And most importantly, it's such an inspiring environment to just be there. Like I want to record stuff all the time, and like I'm writing things. And it's so inspiring to be around all these like young musicians, and like we're all just trying to like work together and support each other. And I cannot wait for the next 3 years and what's to come in my Berklee and Boston experience. So guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this content, please feel free to subscribe, leave a like on this video, demolish that notification bell. And guys, I will see you in the next video. See you later.